instant favourite with TV impersonators. She is in the habit of vanishing from time to time, but the garbo of pop has emerged from the shadows. Welcome to Kate Bush. Kate, I've not seen you for a while, but when we first met, you were still a teenager, and then you got this garbo label. Did you shun publicity in the spotlight deliberately?
I think on some levels, yes, I did, but the main thing was I wanted to spend a lot more time working rather than spending a lot of time promoting the work. It all seemed to be becoming more promotion than the work I was doing.
So you decided work was more important. And have you been now beavering away in the potting shed for your next project?
Yes, I have. We've been working for about 2 to 3 years on this album that's coming out probably middle of September. And it's taken a long time. It's very intense work, really, being sort of shut away in the studio.
And this is The Red Shoes?
Yes, it's called The Red Shoes, yeah.
Is this based on the film, the ballet film?
Well, it is very much connected with the film. I was lucky enough to meet Michael Powell, the director of The Red Shoes, before he died, and he was such a sweet man. He was really sweet. I thought one of Britain's best directors. And he had a very strong effect on me. He was a very sweet man, and he seems to have popped up in 2 or 3 of the songs that are on the album.
Was he dead by that time?
By the time I was writing the songs, yeah. But,
posthumous recognition.
Yes.
Because your first #1 in '78, it was inspired by a classic, of course, Wuthering Heights, and we talked about that on a little programme called Ask Aspel. Well, those were Kate Bush's with her first hit. What was the inspiration for Wuthering Heights? Simply the story?
Well, I hadn't read the book. That wasn't what it inspired it. It was a television series they had years ago, and I just managed to catch the very last few minutes where there was hand coming through the window and blood everywhere and glass. And I just didn't know what was going on, and someone explained the story. It was just hanging around for years, so I read the book in order to get the research right, and wrote the song.
And that had just stuck in your mind all those years?
Yeah, it seemed so strong.
Well,
your little brother and my little sister.
Yes, it was very cruel of the audience to laugh at you like that. You haven't changed at all. Are you sick of references to that number?
I think I am now. I think at the time it was fine. It was a lot of fun, but it was 15 years ago, and I think, although it's nice that people remember it and remember me, it is nice to feel that when you're working on something that you're considered to be a contemporary artist, I suppose, rather than going back to something such a long time ago.
Well, it was so different, so astonishing. Victoria, what was your first impression of Kate and that?
Well, when I first saw it, and I was not at a very good time in my career, well, first of all, I thought she was mad, probably. A mad woman had slipped onto the airwaves. And then, really, I thought that it was very, very good, but I didn't want to acknowledge that it was very good because I was feeling very insecure at the time. And then I read a review by Clive James, and he said, this woman is either a genius or she's barking mad. I thought, well, it probably falls somewhere between the two.
Yes, do you think that's a fair assessment?
Yes, I do. I think I probably am truly mad. Yeah?
That's all right.
But the theatrics, of course, was something we all admired. Now, and of course, you've been a pin-up since you started doing this. This week, we had a lot of letters in the office when they knew you were coming, and I can't imagine what
Did you have any letters about me, Matt?
Not one, oddly enough.
Have they been sending berets? They've been sending berets?
Not berets, no. Just nice letters.
A used beret.
But do you still enjoy being a male fantasy?
Well, I'm not sure if I've ever really enjoyed it.
Horrible question.
Yes, it is. It's a horrible question.
Wind it back and do another one.
Do you enjoy being a male fantasy?
I love it.
Fine. And so do I, so there we are. Now, you did just the one tour in 1979. It was a terrific extravaganza, and you did things that Madonna is really just coming around to thinking of, isn't she? I mean, the telephonist headset. Was that your idea as well?
Well, as far as I know, it's the first time it was used live, because I wanted to be able to move around and dance and use my hands, and at the time, the engineer, the sound engineer that we were working with, came up with the idea of actually adapting a coat hanger. He actually used a coat hanger and opened it out and put it into the shape. So that was the prototype.
See, Madonna wouldn't use a coat hanger. That's probably the difference.
Yeah.
She would insist that it was done properly.
Except for opening a car with, probably. But why have you never repeated all this and done another tour?
Well, I did enjoy it. I think a lot of people think I didn't actually have fun, but I did. It was great. But I think I found it a bit overwhelming, as well as it being very hard work physically. I think it was a bit rough for me being so exposed publicly. I found that a bit rough. And then I suppose I wanted to just retreat and work.
It did all come with a rush, didn't it, of course, at the beginning?
Yeah, those first few years were very intense. Yeah,
Yes.
It was quite overwhelming, really.
What about the image of this vulnerable pre-Raphaelite girl? Is this a pure invention?
Well, I think everyone's vulnerable on some level, but pre-Raphaelite, I suppose that's probably a lot to do with Wuthering Heights. I think a lot of people...
I mean, do you live in a Gothic mansion with candelabra?
No, not at the moment, no.
You mean you have?
I'm planning to.
Oh, that's nice. Can I ask, what's your style in decor?
Oh, it's
Victoria?
like Kate's. I live next door to her. The same.
Yes.
Similar.
Right. What is a typical day for you?
Well, I do spend a lot of time working, so I suppose a typical day would be being in the studio, you know, just working on some ideas for a song and stuff. Pretty boring, really.
Did you sit at what? A keyboard or what?
Yeah, a keyboard, and we tend to put stuff straight onto tape, so I'm actually working onto tape, and then I'll play the tape back and, you know, work to the stuff that's on there, so...
What about lyrics? Ask you both about lyrics. Yours are very passionate and provocative. Do you get inspiration anywhere?
I think it is elusive stuff, but I think really the biggest inspiration is people. I think people are just so inspiring. They're fascinating and wonderful, and I think, you know, that nearly every idea that a person has had has probably at some point come from another person.
And I can't think of you giving a different reply.
No,
That,
not going
really.
to. No, going to give the same reply. Absolutely. The things do come from people. What else is there, really? If you're going to talk about any sort of human relationship, comedy or whatever, it has to be based in life, so it has to be based on people.
But do you always do the housework first and put off writing? I've read you do that.
I don't put off. I mean, I do, you know, I do deal with poo first. That's always what's the priority with the babies.
A
Do
baby
the
poo, Kate, you
do the
understand?
poo, and then do the writing. Yeah, I didn't like Kate. I'm in an office all day, just doing, you know, trying stuff out.
I do it the other way around. I write and then have a
Then
poo.
poo, yes.
Yeah. I'm sorry about that. It's time for...
That's why you're not a male fantasy, if I might say so.
We're going to have a break now. Kate will be singing for her warm glass of white wine later, but in a few moments we'll have Lenny Henry. Welcome back. Do you remember the television series New Faces? Some of the contestants in that talent show went on to become familiar and much-loved faces. In 1975, a young...
Right.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's a hoot.
So far, so good.
I watched a bit of Lady Chatterley's Lover, but then I turned over, you know.
Thank you.
Come on, love, have a look at me marrow.
I got photographic evidence, not of that, but of a picture from New Faces, 75. Can we see that? There we are.
Oh, hello.
And if we have a closer look, we will see the detail of who's that. Look.
Oh. That's me.
Victoria, you must be on the right.
I don't know which one I am, heaven
And
knows.
Lenny, that's
That's
you.
me. Gosh, look at that. Look at that bow tie.
You look like you don't want to be there, Lenny.
What did you do apart from Frank Spencer?
Well, we were in a... I remember being... that was a show called The Summer Show. And it was...
Which nobody ever saw in
It was... we were in Watford for 10 weeks in this hotel, and I'm telling you...
Spider's Web.
There was nothing to do. We used to go and look at the Ring Road for entertainment. So the people thought we were workmen. We were there, so often like doing a television show, and it just nobody saw it. I don't think, but it was a good experience. And
You did a selection of people, did you then?
yeah, it was like sketches and stuff like
He
that,
did
wasn't
Max
it?
Bygrave.
Yeah,
That was one
I did all
of
that
his.
rubbish.
Yes.
But it was good, wasn't it?
And what did you do, Victoria?
I did a song at the piano, and then we did group numbers where they would take popular songs from 30 years before and
Massacre
change
them.
the lyrics.
Do you remember what you thought of each other?
I thought he was very tall.
I was
He
out of
kept
control.
knocking chairs over.
Yes, I was clumsy and...
His head was like, we're talking to you, and his legs were being
I remember I didn't really understand about television, you know. They'd be doing a sketch in the foreground in an aeroplane, and suddenly you see my head bobbing up and down past the blood hole, you know. And they'd go, "Can we sellotape Lenny Henry's bum to the floor, please?" It was great, but I remember really thinking that Vic was dead bright, you know, because she would go into a hotel room and write a song overnight. I thought, either she's a genius or Barry Manilow's in there, you know, get up with it, you know, crack up with those songs.
Or both.
Or both, yeah. But I just thought, oh, God, wouldn't it be great to do that? Because we were doing other people's material, so it was...
Yes. And who won at that particular encounter?
We went up
Marty
against
won the whole thing. There was various semi-finals, and in the end, Marty and Lenny were in the same big final, and Marty won the whole thing.
Yeah, Marty came one.
Yes. Well, after those heady days, you're reduced now, of course, to trips to LA every now and then. You're off again. What for?
I'm doing a South Bank show. I did one on Funk before, and they're sending me off to Los Angeles to do African-American humour, to find out where it comes from and the well from which it springs and all that stuff.
Africa, perhaps?
So we're trying to talk to, well, I guess, so we're trying to get in touch with people like Whoopi Goldberg and stuff, you know, and it's impossible because they're surrounded by banks and banks of my people. They have people. So my people have called her people, and her people have called my antiphone, and hopefully our antiphones are going to interface at some point. I don't know. It's just impossible. So, and at the moment, I'm doing a thing called New Soul Nation, which is about British soul music.
Yeah.
And I'm getting to interview a lot of wonderful people. A lot of British soul acts who are writing and producing their own stuff now, and I'm talking to people like Jazzy B and all those guys, and it's really funny because I'm doing interviews, and I find myself auditioning, you know, even though I don't want to. I'm like, how did you start? How? Well, Lenny, soul to soul. Anyway.
But you're a funk fanatic,
Yes,
really,
I'm a
aren't you?
funk fanatic.
And you met the great man himself, didn't you? I mean, you're here, the godfather of soul.
Yes, David Miller. No, I met James Brown, and it was wonderful. He'd just come out of jail, so he was being very spiritual.
It's for the kids. It's for the kids. That's what I'm doing this for the kids. Church, stay in school. Don't do drugs.
Yeah, James, you did them all, you know.
Yeah.
But it was wonderful to meet him.
Yeah, Blues Brothers and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Wonderful.
He was great, and he would just suddenly go, hey! For no reason at all. He'd be like, what are you sitting on?
Good God.
It was good to talk to him.
Yes. Okay, do you enjoy funk?
Yeah, very much, yeah.
I mean, I didn't know how to phrase that question, but I'm glad I answered. What other musical influences? What influences have you got musically?
Well, I
Victoria?
don't consider myself much, you know, very hot musically at all. I know more about it, but I don't do it very well. I just put it a bit in the show just to sort of break it up. I mean, I love jazz mainly. That's what I really like. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it influences me because I don't have the talent to be able to copy anybody.
What is happening now, of course, is the 70s are rushing back at us. And have you kept your flares and all your high heels and all that?
God, it was bad enough the first time round, wasn't it? It looked so
Just seen the
stupid.
photograph.
I just did the flare. They were so big and baggy, and you know, you couldn't get on the dance floor. You had to get on one at a time, you know. You did a really fast spin, the whiplash would kill somebody. Stupid clothes.
Yeah. I fell off a pair of boots and sprained my ankle. What about you, Kate? You know, you're very simply dressed now. But you keen on the
Gorgeously
70s?
dressed, I think.
Beautiful.
Fine.
That's what I meant. Simple elegance. That's what I was groping for. So what about the 70s stuff? Do you go for that?
No, I agree with Lenny. I mean, why go back to it when it was so awful the first time?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. A lot of people
Terrible.
say that the 70s was the decade that taste forgot. But I think we had taste. It was just shite. Sorry, it was.
Well, they said that
Tank
about
tops. If they come back, I'm going to shoot somebody.
the 40s was bad, but that came back. Did you wear platforms,
Oh,
Victoria?
yeah, I had huge platforms, I had huge wide trousers. I just looked dreadful. I mean, you know, I'm too old now. I don't have to do it. I'm old. I'm 40. I don't have to do all that.
Oh. What about 70s music? Any favourites from that?
Chirpy, chirpy, chirpy. Nice lyrics.
ABBA?
ABBA are great. I like ABBA. They just wore bizarre clothes. I like Brian Ferry.
Knickerbockers, they wore.
Yeah.
And yeah, the 70s was cool. It was great musically because I like.
Dana, she was very big.
Well, I think that's enough 70s music for now. Do You have a good voice. Have you attempted to go pro as a singer?
Rhoda Rogers.
Just stop now. It's hell.
You have to get a very large berry out at the moment. So, what about singing? Well, you have a terrific voice.
Thanks. I'd like to sing, but it's very difficult because they put you, if you're a comedian and you want to sing, they immediately go, hey, you should do, oh, what an atmosphere. And I just don't want to do it, you know. I've got too many friends in the business who just go, nah, Len, no, man. Because I did some terrible records when I first started.
Can I tell them what your record was?
No!
I want to tell everybody what his record was. When we were doing the summer show at ATV, as it then was, Lenny recorded an album, Lenny recorded a single, and so did Marty. Marty's was like a remake of My Yiddish Mama. And Lenny's, appropriate enough, was Boiled Beef and Carrots.
Because I'm a cheeky Charlie Cockney from London, ain't I? You figure it out. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I was 16 going, this is great, being in the studio, we need... Yes. Beef and carrots, for Christ's sake.
We knew nothing.
Well, to bring it up to date, I mean, as an expert, Kate, you think he's got what it takes, don't you, as a singer?
I think Lenny's a really good singer. He's done some singing on the new album. It's really good.
Yes. You are on Kate's new album. Yes.
Yep.
Doing what? How much?
Singing. Just My elephant impression, Michael. It's a biggie.
I thought you might have had the odd solo in the middle of it.
No, I get to sing a bit in it, and it was very exciting. Kate was incredibly patient and made egg sandwiches. She said, go on, Sam, give it Sam. So I did.
That's encouraging. So you're soon on the road again, aren't you, like Victoria? And you're getting geared up for that?
Well, I'm not doing a huge mega bike tour like Vic's doing like more dates than anybody's ever done. It's like, if there's a Civic Hall on Saturn, Vic's going to be there like, yo, get in there! What it is? I'm doing a tour which starts in mid-October and goes through to mid-November. And I'm also doing a charity show on October the 17th at Birmingham Symphony Hall for sickle cell anemia research. It's called Lenny Henry and Friends, and I've got loads of people coming on and doing that because I like doing stuff like that. It kicks the tour off in a really nice...
What about
no plug in the dressing room at Birmingham.
There's no plug?
No plug in the dressing room.
You'll have to sort it out, lads.
Yes.
Get it sorted.
What about your entourage? Is it big?
No, because you know, size doesn't matter, Michael. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Now I've got Davey, who drives me to the gigs, and we get lost quite a lot. And well, where is it, chap? And, but that's it. Me and Davey, we get there and we hang the seat up and we wait in the dressing room, and we have lots of herbal tea and very loud music before the show.
You take the family on tour. Could be talking about kids. You've got dear little Billy.
Kids and water, they love it. Managed to scrab my way to the side. No, because I don't take the kids on the road because we've only got one and she's 2. So, and she can't drive and she can't read the map, so it'd be a bit of a useless exercise. Right. Really. I was just in Australia, actually. Did I tell you that? Because your son's there, isn't he?
Yes, yes.
It was amazing. Because we encountered a bit of racism there. I just want to say this. And it was weird because of the Aboriginal thing. And because we're black, me and my brother went there and they thought we were Aborigines. And we went into some club or something and guys were staring us out quite maliciously, you know, because they thought we were Aborigines. And they were looking at my brother. My brother was like, you know, be rolling around on the floor with some big ochre on top of him saying, I'm from Dudley, I'm from Dudley. But anyway, back to the plot.
Well, the plot. You've done something that I suspect Victoria would never do, and that is a spread in Hello magazine.
Well, we had a lot of hassle from the press when we were just about to adopt Billy. So we decided that what would kill the story, what would make it a completely unsexy story for the tabloids, and we just said, yeah, Hello magazine, because they're so nice. Hello magazine never say anything bad about anybody, you know. If they'd been around during the Second World War, the front page would have been, inside Hitler's bunker, Adolf chooses mellow colours, you know. They were so nice to us, and they, you know, it was wonderful. So, and I thought the pics were great, and that was that. I know some people don't like it, but it was great for us.
Yes. Would either of you be tempted to do? a Hello magazine spread?
Well, you need a lot of clothes, don't you? You have to have a different outfit for each room, and I just think, you know, I would fall short after I've stood in my boned cocktail frock in front of my marble mantelpiece.
Everybody has marble, don't they?
There was a woman in Hello magazine who she said, we did have 9 houses, we've now got it down to 6 because it's more manageable. And I just...
Yes, well, one does sympathise, of course. Do you feel still driven? Can you relax at all?
I think I can relax, and then I find myself writing on holiday and stuff like that, because you start to chill out at home, you know, you got a glass of wine and you're relaxing and everything, and then you watch programs like The Real McCoy and the 291 Club, and you realise that all these young comedians coming up, and I'm like, they're not going to get me! So I kind of work harder than I should, I guess. You know, I've been called a workaholic, but I kind of don't see it like that.
Well, you wouldn't, because you're a workaholic.
Yes.
That's silly, isn't it? Well, I've just been told, Miss Bush, that they are going to be ready for your song. So thank you very much for being with us, and perhaps you'd like to prepare your young body. Thank you. Kate Bush. And let me give a quick vote of thanks to your company, Lenny Henry and Victoria Wood. And thanks for your company. Have a good summer. Goodbye for now. And here is Kate Bush with some moments of pleasure.
Some moments that I've had, some moments of pleasure. About it, just be alive. It can really hurt. These moments given are a gift from time. On a balcony. I can hear my mother saying, every old sock meets an old shoe. And that a great saying, every old sock meets an old shoe. Here come the hills that turn. Heed their mooring in the eye.